the news that we've been having is the showcases pretty much. First of all, we'll talk about what Manuel would like to call showcases that shouldn't exist. Ubisoft
Yeah.
Forward, Capcom Showcase, maybe some others included in that as well. Manuel, why should these not exist? Aside from the fact
Some,
that Ubisoft has 72 Assassin's Creed games that they may
yeah,
not even release.
some showcase should be forbidden to be shown. Like I agree. Somebody was joking around. They were saying, you know what? I vote for Jeff Keighley being like the arbiter of who gets to do a showcase and who does it. Like because Capcom literally did a showcase where part of the showcase was promoting their Capcom ID stuff. Like sign up for this ID registration. Like how is that part of a showcase? That's
What are
complete
we doing?
nonsense. And then they were doing this live from using hotel internet, so the stream was like poor quality as well.
Oh my god.
They lost at one point. They lost part of their direct feed for the gameplay footage, so they had to cut back to the screen and the guy awkwardly standing in front of the screen. Like it was just
We
so
lost
bad.
E3 for this?
Yeah, it was terrible. And then the Ubisoft Forward, Ubisoft Forward at least had solid games, right? They had the Star Wars thing, they had the
Hey,
the Prince of
put
Persia
put
thing, which
some
I'm very
respect on
much
Dragon's Dogma 2 though.
Dragon
On
Dragon's
Capcom.
Dog. Well, that was Capcom, right? Yeah. So it's not like they didn't have any games, but the presentation itself, it was just not good. It was very much the old days of live showcases and stuff like that, and none of this was necessary. I would have preferred seeing trailers for specific games, and that's it.
Yeah.
I agree. With that being said, I am looking forward to Dragon's Dogma 2. I don't know how much time I'll have to play it, but I really enjoyed the first one. So, you know,
Also, these people, Ubisoft and Capcom, they're present in the Xbox showcase and in Summer Game Fest. So when they come here to show a game, they're like, first, let's show you the trailer that you already saw the couple days ago. Let's show it again. And then we're going to talk about that trailer that you just saw twice. And then we're going to give you some new information. Like, who does that? That's
it
nonsense.
comes back to what we talk about of respecting our time, right? Like I don't have like I
Yeah.
remember when we were like I want to see I want to do the reacts to it, and I'm like I'm at work, like I have to go out. It's probably gonna be like a 3 hour thing. No, I can't do it.
Yeah.
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 Even then, like I haven't really seen the whole like everything that I probably should have seen, but here we are. So we're gonna start
And
then
I think
with
that Capcom is killing it, even though
okay.
I agree with Mano,
Yeah, they
PlayStation
are.
is
They
really
are.
bad. But they're killing it with their
Oh,
games.
Street Fighter 6 is really good.
Yeah,
I
Street
played the
The
Fighter,
demo of that and I
remakes,
Resident
enjoyed it.
Evil.
yeah, the
Yeah.
remakes, Devil May Cry, man, they've been on a hot streak. So yeah.
Yep.
All right, so the first one then I got here is gonna be the Summer Game Fest. I got a couple of the games in here. There were obviously some other games as well, so we can talk about some of the ones that interests us. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I believe that was the first one that they showed.
Yep.
It looked good, right?
I look at yeah.
I'm very hyped for that game. Then Ubisoft showed more, even though we were seeing it with that terrible screen or whatever. But gameplay wise, this game looks awesome. Like very, very awesome. I'm not in love with the art style, but the gameplay is gonna be. I can't wait. This is a day one purchase for me.
It looked like Prince of Persia meets Fortnite, and it comes
In
to
the
the
art
art
style, yeah.
direction.
That stuff.
Yeah, but it looks fast. I mean, it looks fun. It's 2D with some 3D, but it's more 2D, and I love the way that they're approaching it. It looks punishing at times, so that's really cool. It looks like a mature game. Yeah, not when you take a franchise and put it 2D and it looks childish. No, this looks really polished. It looks really good.
And parentheses, so this is one of my first games. I said it in my podcast. One of the first games that I had memory of as a kid was the original Prince of Persia, and this is made in that vein. And
Yeah.
in the Ubisoft Forward, the guy, the creator, the director of this game, said the same thing. Like years ago, like 30 years ago, whatever, when he was a kid, he remembers playing this game on his Mac or whatever, and that changed his perspective of video games forever. And now, 30 years forward, he's the
Because it
creator
was a
of
side
this game. Like,
scroller
that's
too,
awesome.
right? Yeah, like the
Yeah.
It
first
was a
ones
side
that came
scroller.
out. I
Yeah.
only played like the I guess 3D ones with the
Mm.
was
My
it
first time
it
was
was the
Sands of
two
Time.
Sands of
Yeah.
Times, the
Yeah.
what the two what is it, Two Thrones was
Uh,
it?
Yeah,
It's
Two
something
Thrones
like that.
or
Yeah,
Two
They were
Blades,
all good
whatever.
too. All
Right?
of them were
I
good.
really
Yeah,
really
we're really good.
enjoyed those as well. All right, so what else did we see then? Mortal Kombat 1 was another one we
Oh my
got to see quite a bit of that. It looks great. I really liked it as well. I play very casually, of course. I'm not like competitive or anything like that. I play here for my own enjoyment, but I really liked what I saw.
Yeah, from what I'm been hearing about everybody who's been playing it in person, they say this game, the one thing that everybody is amazed at when they first look at it is graphically. Apparently, just graphically, it looks like on another level, and it is a PS5 exclusive, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
There we go.
They did a new engine for it, right?
Yeah,
And it looks realistic, but it's cool because the fatalities they are gruesome, but they're still in the same vein as the ones that we get to see in MK10 that were kind of goofy, so it's cool, it's that MK flavor that we come to know and love. It's faster, which is good. I, as a fighting game fan, usually I like MK. I'm not the huge fan of MK as a style because it's lower. I prefer Marvel, Capcom, Street Fighter, all that. So having it here be like faster, having the cameos and all that, it feels way more intentional on their part to at least pit things up. It looks harder too, in a way. So
Manuel and I will be having a battle to see who gets to main Sub-Zero.
I mean, Scorpion is my number 2 guy, so I wouldn't be
Yeah.
mad.
All right.
that's cool. I want to use the blind guy. What's his
Is
name?
she?
Kenshi. Nah, Kenshi's pure fire.
And he's there, yeah. So he's
Yeah,
confirmed to
he's
be in
good.
there as
And
well.
did you hear the story stuff too about it, Ace? Because they're saying, like, for example, they're completely revamping the storylines of
Hmm.
these characters.
They're
Like
brothers
Sub
now.
Zero and Scorpion are brothers. Raiden doesn't have
He's not
powers
the
anymore.
god
He's just a
anymore
bird.
because
Like that's pretty
yeah.
awesome. That's pretty cool.
I like where they're going with that because
Mhm.
not everybody plays these games for the story, but you get a little nod with these
Yeah.
because you follow them, so that's pretty cool also.
You know?
Another thing that we saw, Nicolas Cage is on Dead by Daylight.
That
Nick
was a
Cage.
fun
That's
moment. Shout out
it
to
was
Nick
fun.
Cage.
Yeah.
Nick Cage always a good sport, man.
Hmm.
No.
What else? Sonic Superstars. I know you're very interested in this, Luis.
Yeah. Looks awesome. I was watching a 10-minute gameplay reel that IGN Japan dropped. I believe it was yesterday or the day before, and in that trailer it looks faster. I agree with Manuel. The first showing that we got, it looked slower from the
Hmm.
2D Sonic that we've come to know and love. But that reel seemed faster. Maybe because it was focused on single player. Maybe
Yeah, I
when
think once
things
you
get
hit the
on the
multiplayer,
road.
I think that's when it goes slower. Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks really good. It looks really promising. I thought that they were gonna go with the Mania approach, or like a more classic Sonic, just because like Frontiers was so 3D and so modern approach. So they have a pattern, right, of going modern Sonic, classic Sonic, modern Sonic. So I'm glad that they went this route, and this looks really polished. This looks really good.
Understandable. So I thank you for stopping by, man. We appreciate you. So, have they said anything about online capabilities for it, or is it just couch?
Yeah. Apparently,
It's
so
it's
far
yeah.
it's just couch, which
Because
is like I don't know who
that
can get
looks
more
like it'll be
people
the
to play
successor to
Sonic.
TNFT when we were playing together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Could be
yeah.
fun.
Yep.
Here's hoping that they added it in a future patch or something. Here's hoping.
Let's see. So what else? Lisa P and the demo dropped as well. We played the demo. Manuel, you played it more than me, so I'm gonna let you have
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, so going on the trailer that they showed, nothing too impressive, right? And didn't change my mind on anything. This is still a game where I think it has everything going against it. I think the only thing good that it has going forward is the Pinocchio twist to it, right? But
Mhm.
going out of your way to say this is a Bloodborne clone, pretty much, that's putting your back against the wall. So this game, I don't know how good it's gonna be at the end of the day. I played the demo, and it's exactly what I predicted. Right, it is Bloodborne through and through, but obviously it's not going to control and play like a FromSoft game because only they can make these games like that. So because of that, it is a little bit inferior in that sense. Having said that, it was a fun time, especially like I did a let's play that's up on my channel right now, and it was okay, it was fine or whatever. I was struggling quite a bit. Then after I turned off the cameras, I went back and played it on my own, and I got into the mechanics. Okay, now I understand what this is for. How do you do this or whatever? And I got into the flow more. I got to the boss and I beat the boss. So, the one thing that does surprise me, that surprised me from the demo, is the fact that there's an actual story to this game that I care about, and I think that's going to be the thing, the deciding factor whether I want to play this game or whether I'm going to like this game or not. It's a story more so than the gameplay. Gameplay is Bloodborne, slightly inferior, but the story that they've created here actually seems like they care. They know the lore. They know Peter Pinocchio. Just to briefly, I don't want to talk too much about this, but basically towards the end of my demo, because it's longer, but I chose to stop there because of that. I don't want to know more story stuff until I play the game. But there's this point where you're going to go inside the hotel that you're going towards at the beginning of the demo, and Pinocchio is obviously a puppet, right? And you have all these puppets around, but apparently there are humans in this world, even though I haven't encountered any human yet. And this machine that's talking to you throughout the demo tells you, okay, the one thing that they didn't tell you was that no puppets are allowed in this hotel. So when you go and you knock, you have to lie and say that you're a human. And then that's when they reveal to you that puppets in this world can't lie. Like it's physically impossible for them to lie. Only Pinocchio, for some reason, has the capacity to lie. And that was interesting to me. And then when he lied, when you knock on the door, they actually give you the option to say you're a puppet or a human. I said human, I mean, right? Because that's the point of the game. I wonder what happens if you press puppet. But I pressed human, so I lied. And then they told like so text came on screen or something saying that Pinocchio can feel something changing inside of him. So I was like, man, I'm very, very intrigued to see what this is. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. I think
That's
it's good. If it comes out in a time where nothing else is competing against it, I'm definitely gonna pick this up.
Really sounds
That's
really
cool.
interesting.
You
Yeah,
played this on PS5 or Xbox?
Yeah,
You said?
PS5. PS5.
that's where I
I
played
mean,
It
it
a
looks
looks
lot.
great
good.
too.
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. I love Pinocchio. That's one of my favorite, stories being adapted by Disney, right? So yeah.
Keep in mind that Manuel said that it controls worse than these type of games usually do. Because
Yeah.
when we're talking about this game is great and you start complaining about it, we're
Mhm.
gonna bring them come back to this conversation.
Yeah, but Bloodborne is more along the lines of what Luis is looking for. That's why I've told him to play Sekiro so many times, and he still hasn't played it because that's more what
As a
he's
player.
looking for than
No.
Dark Souls or Elden Ring.
All right, what else we do after that? Alan Wake 2.
Oh,
Did we
yeah.
Man,
see much more than like it looked
um,
good, but did we see much more than what we had already seen from it though?
I don't think so. No.
that's my biggest worry about this game. That the 3 times or 2 times that we've seen it, they show the exact same section,
Same setting.
and
Yeah.
that worries me a little bit. I want to know what this game is moment to moment, right? How
They're
how is
saying
this a,
interesting things, but we're not seeing it.
how is how is it a survival horror game? Like, what makes this a survival horror game? That's what I want to know. But having said that, what I've heard from everybody that played, apparently they played a 30-minute demo in Summer Game Fest, and every single person has been blown away by this game. So I can't wait. I think this is. I'd have to sit down and think, but I think this is my number one most anticipated game for the rest of the year.
That's cool. That's cool. And surprise hit, right? Because we were expecting like this sequel to drop, right? It got announced way before, but this production value, the way it looks, the way it seems to play, way out of left field. We were not expecting this. This looks
Yeah.
beautiful. It looks
Obviously,
like
they're adding stuff from Control, like stuff that people loved
Mhm.
from Control. So they've learned from, Remedy continues to get better and better in each one of their games. So it wouldn't surprise me that this might be their best game yet. I hope it is. One interesting thing about this for fans who know, I don't know a lot about this, but I know a little bit. What's his name? What's the Max Payne?
I'm a
So
fan.
so they did Max Payne, but they don't own the rights to Max Payne, so they've never been able to do an actual sequel or anything like that. But apparently, according to their lore, unofficial lore, the Alan Wake, the Max Payne thing is part of the Alan Wake world, so all of that is
Oh,
connected.
that's cool.
There were references to Max Payne in the previous game, like notes and stuff like that, but it's not official. The character, the detective character that they use here, is the actor from Max Payne. His name is the guy from Max Payne, as close as you can get without saying this is Max Payne. So that's
Yeah,
awesome. That's a cool nod to everybody that loves that.
that's cool. That's cool.
That's awesome. Manuel cannot wait to be left in another cliffhanger from Remedy.
And yeah, that's the only thing. We know it's gonna be a cliffhanger.
All right. So what else we see after that? The Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2. What do you Luis, let's go with you because we heard Manuel from Alan Wake. You're our resident Spider-Man biggest fan in the podcast. So let's hear it from you. What did you think about Spider-Man 2?
It's good that they confirmed that they're not gonna go the Eddie Brock route. Um, it seems to me that they're gonna use Harry Osborn as the one that's been possessed by the symbiote, which is kind of interesting, when you think about it, because the first time that I think they addressed this right in a specific way. I mean, Harry has been other villains, but not Venom, not that I recall. So that's cool. We have a release date, October 20th, I believe.
17th, I think it is. I don't remember.
It's around there. It's good. It
Yeah,
drops
20th because 17th
20th, right?
is Alan Wake. Yeah.
It's Alan Wake. Yeah, they're
I
really
was
close.
feeling
They're
good
really
about my
close.
wallet for the rest of the year, and I don't feel so good no more.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
hurt me. When they said October 20th, I'm like, man, that got me right to the
Uh,
heart. Because October 17th is Adam Wake, so I'm gonna have to make decisions there.
yeah. The game looks really neat. I don't have an issue with how it looks. I believe it looks safe, at least from Peter's perspective. I was more um like blown away with Miles sections, but I do believe that they're holding out on us. So maybe it's gonna end up being a really decent game. I'm hopeful that they try to be like more of what they did with Across the Spider-Verse. Like, we have a lore, but you can do whatever in it, right? It don't matter, if it's done good. People will back it up. So I'm hoping that they go like off the rails, kill some characters, do whatever. I wish that by the end of this game we are left like maybe in a cliffhanger, but more so in a state where we don't know where the sequel will be. um so I'm hopeful for that. A lot of trauma for Peter, and a lot of personal growth
This-
too, because I believe that in the first game we did not have that because he was already mature.
Manuel, you concur?
Yeah, I don't have a lot more to add to the Spider-Man 2 conversation. To be honest, if these games came out today, Spider-Man 2 and Alan Wake 2, I'm playing Alan Wake 2 first. So I'll
That's
play
a good pick.
Spider-Man 2. It's only because
That's a
what
good
Luis
pick.
is saying, I know what Spider-Man 2 is going to be. Like, I know what it is going to
Mhm.
be, and I doubt they're going to surprise me with anything, whether it be gameplay or story-wise. So I'll get to it. I'm just not in a rush to play it day one necessarily.
That makes sense. All right,
Yeah.
so next thing that I have in my notes here, Power World, which is a Pokemon game with guns that looks way better than the actual Pokemon game that we had.
I know, right? I'm surprised that this got published in the end, because I've seen trailers, a lot of trailers for this couple of years, and this started off, as a gimmick. It started off as a joke. It grew. I believe this was on Kickstarter at some point. It got a lot of backers. It ended up being this. I believe this is same for like a MMO type approach, or this is supposed to be like a multiplayer experience. Killing Pokemon with guns and all that. But visually, it looks really stunning, and gameplay wise, it looks really fluid. So I'm surprised the way that it looks. It looks bizarre. I don't think I'm gonna play it because maybe I'm like the core, or the market there, but it still looks goofy. It doesn't add up as well. But I mean, shout out to them for realizing their vision, right? I mean, started off as a goof, and Temtem wasn't the same vein, and it ended up being a really decent game. Like high 7, high 8 game. So it's good to have people like be fan of these big IPs and have their shot at it. Sometimes it could be huge. Sometimes it could be a 7. You know, but it's still good.
Next thing I have here on my notes is the question: is it another bad Lord of the Rings cast rap? I didn't even grab the name of the actual game.
It
Oh
looks
yeah,
really
that game
bad.
looks trash. It looks really bad. Very bad.
Again,
Worse than Gollum.
for the second time in a
Yeah.
row.
Yeah, they're
That's
completely
so sad,
destroying
man.
this IP.
No.
That's terrible. With something we talked about it last time with Golem, like something so beloved is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then the next thing I have in here in my notes, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which we've spoken about a little bit in terms of I've said if this was on the console, I would play it, even on mobile console, but on the phone, I'm not feeling
Yeah.
it. That being said, it's Final Fantasy VII, so of course I pre-registered for it.
Mm-hmm. This is
It's
like an
supposed to be
actual remake for that game, right? Because
for
it's
the
an
whole
actual.
franchise, right?
For the it's basically yeah for the whole like
Everything's seven
compilation
related,
of.
isn't it?
I'm sorry.
Isn't it just everything 7 related?
Yeah,
Everything
it's the
7 related?
Every
compilation of
7,
Final
yeah,
Fantasy
no,
VII. Yeah.
no.
Yeah, yeah, but it actually looks like what everybody thought would be an actual remake of Final Fantasy would
I
be in
like
the
the
art
art style
style,
too.
but
Like,
looking
yeah,
better. Yeah,
No,
so
I
no,
ain't
that's
mad
good.
at it. I just don't like playing on my phone. Period. Like, I find
Mhm.
it somehow more uncomfortable than playing on the Switch. So we'll
No,
see.
if
yeah.
this game drops on Steam Deck, I'm gonna be all in. Because same. I play sometimes on my phone. X Cloud and all that. But yeah, either the Steam Deck, the Switch, or the consoles. But I'm not huge. Just because I think that over the I don't know, it doesn't work well. So yeah.
And then they hit me with the troll. He was like, "Oh, speaking of Final Fantasy," and then he was like DoorDash or something like that. I'm like, "What? What are you really doing? Like, don't do that to me." So we'll stop on that. We'll come back to it. But Banishers is also one that I thought it was interesting what they were doing.
Don't know
The
what it
Yeah.
is.
it's I will look it up after. But yeah, yeah, I thought it was interesting what they were doing. It's just I feel like I said at the beginning, I was like, okay, I feel my wallet is pretty safe, and then suddenly I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling so good about it anymore. We got a load of draft class here, so there's games that I'm not gonna be able to play, and
Yeah.
and that might be one to suffer that because there's others that interest me more. But that being said, I was, pretty surprised with how much it interested. So maybe at some other point when the load is less.
No.
Liz Fanga was another one. It was kind. Did you see that one?
No
No, that one.
idea. No idea what it
All
is.
right. It's like it feels like the gameplay loop. Like she would die and then get like a second copy of herself, and like the
Mm,
copy will do the things that she's done before. So if she was
Oh
attacking
yeah, this is a
somebody else, that she
top-down
could.
game, right?
Yeah,
Is it? Yeah, yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that
it
that
looks
had
cool. It's not something that
an
I'm
indie
gonna be getting
approach to
into.
it. Yeah.
yeah. Look, man. I'm just trying to take a page from you. You always say that I should play more indies, so that's why I'm
Yeah,
looking
there's
out
some
for
games.
them. I didn't used to. Now I'm looking for
Yeah,
some outliers that I might be interested in.
yeah, I like
Uh,
the art style. That I remember.
and then Immortals of Avium is another one that I saw. Did you that one you remember which one it is?
Yeah, because I don't like I've heard that name before, the first one or whatever. I didn't think it was this type of game. And I saw this trailer and I still didn't think it was like for me. But then I heard people talking about it. And they said, no, this is like if you like puzzle games, this is a really good puzzle game with a really good story. So that has me
Mm,
moderately interested.
And then the last one that I have on my list here, they ended up with this. They and you mentioned this on your podcast as well. That he was saying how they had a big surprise that nobody was expecting in the end, and before the whole thing, were already talking. Like I don't you remember on the chat, I was like, Final Fantasy is 100% gonna be there. Final Fantasy 7, the next
mhm.
one is 100% gonna be there. And then he said, "Oh yeah, nobody's expecting." I'm like, "Yep, I did say that right before it started." And then they showed it, and I I really like what I've seen. I just I have concerns for the story moving forward as a fan. Like I didn't mind that they changed things, but it's like we talked about with Sephiroth showing up early and stuff like that. I the fact that I believe it was Tifa that was saying, "Oh, Cloud wasn't there five years ago." That's end game on the original game. Like you don't know this. Like first Sephiroth shows up, she's talking about this. Like I mean, I hope it comes late, but and I already know about it, so maybe for newer fans or whatever. But I
Yeah.
feel like it's detaching a little bit more than I was comfortable with. Where originally I was like, okay, yeah, I don't mind what they're doing. Now it's like, is there is there any way that they can change it that is gonna hit like not necessarily how the original hit, but that is gonna hit at all? Or I'm just gonna be like, oh, this is what they're doing with it.
I
I
have a
have
question
concerns with it.
for you, Ace, regarding story, because I have not finished FF7 remake, right? That's on my to do list too. Um, but Kevin mentioned something that piqued my interest, is because I did not think that will be the case with these type of games. But he said that there is a common belief among some fans that this trilogy it's a sequel trilogy to
Oh
the
yeah,
original game, right?
100%.
I did not think about it that way. I mean, this trailer showed more of that, or it's more akin to that. When Sephiroth says like, "I killed, I killed her off." So who is she, right? I'm referring to Tifa. If I'm not, she doesn't die in the first game. She gets beaten up, but she doesn't die, right?
She got like
Maybe,
stabbed with like his big ass sword, but I
yeah.
remember
That
when Cloud would mention to her that she's like, "How was it?" And he's like, "It was really bad. I thought you were going a goner," which
yeah.
he
So
could be
maybe he
referred
was
like he could be
misdirected.
just playing with his mind about she's supposed to be dead because Cloud maybe doesn't remember clearly. Or maybe he actually did kill her, in which case again we're straying way too far from it. We could have done something different, but not that, you know.
Yeah. My question to you is, because I believe we talked about this a bit on our chat, right, our private chat, that I said that it seems like they're saving off Sephiroth for the third game, right? It seems like Sephiroth is connected to time and space, right, and he's wreaking havoc in this whole spectrum. Do you believe that the
It's in canon books
protagonist,
that they went into the live stream. That's why their like their consciousness will goes into the live stream. It was the same with him, Aerith, and
yeah,
stuff like that. Which is why, for example, like you think, oh, she knows more stuff than she's supposed to know, and Sephiroth the same deal. So they're
mhm.
trying to change something or another.
Do you think that Sephiroth purposely did something that set them on a straight path without them realizing, like they sold us the idea that this is a new approach to the story, right? But by doing so, maybe Sephiroth has already like an ace under his belt, and he's trying to like set them on a path that will end up being way worse for them. Like, let's say not kill Aerith, but maybe kill Cloud and kill some other people in the process. Maybe he's doing that to retcon
I
and be
think that
more
would have to
powerful.
do with and I don't know if you would like that spoil, but I think it would have to do with you continuing on as finishing the story. I think it's pretty clear cut, and Manuel can correct me if he felt differently. What the plan was for Sephiroth to change things, and whether he achieved it or not is very clear towards the end of the game.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Obviously, I don't have them as much of a memory of the original storyline to notice all of these details, which is why I wanted to go back to it anyway. But to me, like as an outsider looking in, as a casual Final Fantasy VII fan, I thought this looked amazing. Like I thought the trailer looked amazing. I don't mind any of the changes. Like on the contrary, give us a different Final Fantasy VII for a different generation. Like I don't really worry. I don't really mind any of this stuff. I know that the game looks far better than I thought it would. Graphics, like I'm looking at stills right here, and it looks incredible. The fact that they're bringing it on 2 discs means that it's gonna be huge.
Huge.
I hope it's not just padding out whatever like stupid stuff like that, but
Like the first one.
yeah. So which is it goes contrary to what I thought. I thought they were gonna do something more similar to the first one, and apparently they're not. They're doing something different.
I was
So
gonna say they can't have their cake and eat it too. Like if you think about it, it's like okay, you padded this out the first game, and then you gave us this crap DLC also,
mhm, yeah,
which I paid for
but
both.
it looks
So
great.
part of the problem as usual. And then the release date for that is gonna be early 2024, which correlates with what I had said before that winter is supposed to be until March. Anything further than that, and they just dropped the ball on it. I feel like, but contrary to what you might think, I'm not mad at it because we have this late right here. So I would
Yeah,
rather be on a lull and get that, and
it's
then just
better.
devote my time to it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think it's gonna come out early 2024. I think the fact that they first said winter and now they're saying early 2024, I think shows that it's gonna take longer than we think.
Maybe
It
June,
could be.
July, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, maybe.
It can't be. It can't be like winter next year, and I'm gonna be mad. At that point, I would be all
No,
right. What do you?
I don't think so because I think that they're. I believe they're gonna try to. I mean, I don't know which is gonna be their next game because they're cooking a lot of projects at the same time. But maybe they drop this and they start off with the marketing campaign for Kingdom Hearts 4 if that is in production now. You know, they've been like slowly but surely like dropping games on us and then starting off with the next thing. You know, don't dwell too much on this. We have this, and I mean, so far, the remake was really good. The DLC, but then
It was bad. Like I don't
yeah,
care. And this is another thing too. Like when I said my thoughts on this, what we saw. Of course, again, I'm in the minority. Everybody just loves it and whatnot. But it is what it is. But I don't care. I will die on the hill that the DLC was bad for what
yeah.
it cost.
So after that, they dropped on us Paradise of Origins something, right?
Stranger Paradise,
Yeah, that game was bad. That game was bad.
Final Fantasy
Um,
Origins, Stranger Paradise, that's something like
yeah.
that.
So now if 16 nails, right? The sixth landing and it ends up being really good, really decent, high 80 game, and then we get the rebirth game. I believe it's gonna be a good push for Square. Like before, like we had 7, 8, 9, 10 really good products back to back, right? Could
There
they
are
pull it
rumors that
off?
supposedly the next big remake is gonna be 10.
Yeah, yeah. So I heard. Yeah, that's gonna be really good. That's gonna be good. I'm a huge fan of 10.
9 and 8
I
are
love
right
10.
there, but all right.
Yeah.
Like I would
But I
even
believe that
concede
10
to 8.
has more of like a commercial approach. I think.
Did you see the fan made remake of the
But that's
of Nine
never gonna
Dash?
release, unfortunately.
Yeah, obviously it's not to play, but it shows the potential of something like that.
Oh yeah.
I hope. We're hoping. We're hoping.
And then before we go to the next showcase, the other thing that we played a demo of was Final Fantasy 16. They dropped the demo of it. I
Yeah.
played it. I I had read somewhere that it took inspiration from Game of Thrones. I felt in the beginning I was like, this was just ripped off. We just changed character names. Is all we did, straight out of Game of Thrones. But so far I haven't finished it. I haven't had the time, but I put in a good hour or so. And I think it looks really good. More so, like I'm more interested having played the demo that I was originally.
How does it play? Like Devil May Cry, Kingdom Hearts, mix about?
Mm. I don't know that I can compare it to any of them really. I felt closer to like the Final Fantasy VII remake in a
Yeah, that's what I
way,
thought.
Okay.
but not quite.
I,
Still, it's just hard to.
Do you change characters like in Final
Not
Fantasy
for the
7 here?
moment. I don't know if there's
No.
like I've played with like I feel like guest characters. I don't get to
Okay.
control them, but it might be a feature of the actual game.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they've said you don't control the other characters. You're
So
only
it's
with one
Kingdom
character.
Hearts. You have companions, but you don't have like maybe you get them commands.
It might be,
That's
yeah,
it.
like no, not even
No.
that.
No,
They
not
they,
even.
they
They
do
said
their
you
own
only
thing.
control the
I mean,
one.
not
Yeah.
commands, but I feel like that when you said like the general command of attack, like Goofy and Donald will attack, they're not. You don't have turns for them. That's all I'm saying. But they're like in tune
No,
with
they just
whatever
like
you're
basically
pressing.
do their own thing, yeah. Separate from
Yeah,
what you're doing. I don't even
yeah.
know that at any point when I was attacking, I saw any type of like joint thing between them, regardless of both of us attacking at the same time or anything like that. So I don't know if that's gonna be a feature at another point, but I haven't seen anything like that yet.
And my final question is: this protagonist like? Do you care for this guy? Because I felt that he in the trailers he seems like I don't know. It's hard for me to feel for this guy, at least from what I
He's
see.
Jon Snow.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna say about that.
That's good. That's good.
Alright. But like I said, you guys were more interested in it than I was originally, and I think I'm gonna jump on that boat, and that's part of the problem because now I see it, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This is a long game. I got a couple other games I like to try out. Like I still haven't
Yeah.
beat Tears of the Kingdom, so we'll see what, what I'm gonna end up doing. And then the last one that I have is the Xbox Game Showcase for 2023, joined with the Bethesda Showcase as well. I don't have a whole lot here because I honestly did not sit down and watch the whole thing. I watched bits and pieces of stuff that was interesting to me. Uh, I just have like three things, so I'll have you guys talk about what you thought was interesting for you first.
Fable looks great. Graphically at least because we didn't really see what the moment they keep calling
They
it
said this was
gameplay.
the
That
actual,
pissed me
The
off.
yeah.
when she was throwing the fireballs, they said that
Nah,
was him, but
I
I
don't
don't
buy
know.
any of this stuff.
It
I don't
looks
buy any of this
CGI,
stuff.
right? It looks CGI.
But
Yeah.
they
I
have got
agree.
said and like they had confirmed that supposedly that's part of the gameplay.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
engine,
no,
right?
that's what they're saying. They're saying, but that's what they said about Hellblade. The last trailer that they showed about Hellblade, that
Oh my
everything we saw there
god,
was gameplay, but you're not doing anything in
you
that
don't
game.
see
Like it
any.
literally
No,
looks
yeah,
so.
Yeah,
So that's the.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know about that, but it looked very visually impressive.
and it feels
The
like
Star
Fable from
Wars,
what I gathered.
the
So
Star Wars Outlaws, and it's in the modern times, right? That's pretty cool.
is
hmm
it?
Uh, Yeah, I think that they put it in the modern times. The story, not sure. I'm pretty sure I heard that. Star Wars Outlaws is the other big thing that everybody's talking about. I'm in the minority here. I think a hot take. I don't think that game looks that great as everybody's saying it does.
yeah.
I
I
think it
agree
just
with
looks
you.
like Star Wars.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't look special to me in any way. So I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know about that one.
yeah. I
Yeah,
agree
I
It's
don't
with
see it.
you.
supposed to be open world, right? It said.
Yeah,
hmm
and it bothers me that they said that it's the first Star Wars open world game. I'm pretty sure there's been other open world Star Wars games. Let me
All right,
see. I'm just looking. I'm looking
semi-open.
through.
I think that semi-open, yes, but truly open world, I believe no. But
Semantics, you know.
yeah,
That's
but it's
just
semantics. Yeah,
semantics.
it's
We're just gonna
semantics.
use whatever is convenient.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
Spider-Man is an open world game, and I don't consider it an open world game, but
it's
it is an open
semi-open.
world
Yeah,
game. It is
Sandbox.
officially open world. Yeah,
yeah,
I consider it more of a sandbox game. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think
yeah.
out of the Xbox thing, the one game I think that really caught my eye was Jusant. It's like a climbing game, basically. It's basically
Oh,
like a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
rock
yeah.
climbing game, and
hmm
it's like an indie game. That's the one that really caught my eye. I wasn't feeling any games in the Xbox showcase.
That being said, though, I want to say because I have posed a question to you guys. Like I didn't see because I didn't see the whole thing, and that's why I was asking you guys. I didn't see what was so big about it that they were acting like it was the greatest thing ever. But going through the list and stuff like that, and seeing, for example, Game Pass is getting a lot of games of these, so that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
a big deal,
hmm
and I can appreciate that for
And we
sure.
got 11 studios from Xbox being present here, and that's something that we were lacking in some Sony's presentation, right? We got a lot of doubts still of where is um like Wolverine, where is augmented
Anything
reality.
that
But
works.
where is
Anything,
anything, right?
anything that
Where
you
is Santa
haven't already
Monica?
showed us, yeah.
Where so we got that here. The third party approach was good too. I'm not huge on Persona, but having a new IP from Atlas,
It,
having two other projects there, in the same vein, Persona 5, it's really neat for that audience. Every Persona game, I mean, 3, 4, 5, and Royale are in Game Pass, so you can go now and play those games. That's really cool. It's really neat.
If you have 2 hours
Um,
to spare in an opening,
yeah, that's the thing. Like
you're
I'm
right. You're right.
after that it's Persona 4 kind of sullied my thing with Persona, and now that I see 3, which is huge for fans of it, it's basically a remake of 3.
Yeah.
Well, it is a remake of 3, and I'm thinking, but do I really want to? And the answer is no. I don't really want to waste my time on that.
we
So
But
got
it
you
is
with your
we
huge for
Assassin's
Xbox
Creed 3,
though.
man.
Yeah,
yeah.
but it is huge for Xbox though. It is.
Yeah, my take on it, to sum it up, as I stated in the chat, was that this was a great conference for Xbox. My thing is that 2024 is looking huge for them. It's looking really neat.
There he goes
Like you
again.
said, if they do stick the landing of release dates that they showed here
That's the thing.
and
That's
the
the thing. That's
windows,
why
yeah, but we're
That's
still
where
in
we're at
2023.
now.
That's the
like
thing,
this
and
we've been saying that for a long time,
yeah.
right? We've been saying that for a long time.
And
Like this
the
seems to be the
pandemic is
year.
not gonna be an excuse forever either.
Definitely, and we're still in 2033, so we are still left with Starfield and Forza. And I mean, if you are into Starfield, that's great. I'm not into Starfield, so it's not much for me. I like Forza, but Forza it's a game that you can pick up, maybe play 2, 3 weeks, here and there.
Plus, that one
Pick
is
up game.
motorsport, so it's more of a sim. So it's not gonna be for
Yeah,
it's
It's
not
not
Forza
even,
it's
yeah.
not
Horizon.
for everyone. Yeah, so it's a pickup game at best, right? And in 2023 is looking really thin for them. Like, I'm hopeful that for their sake, right, Starfield ends up being as good and as huge as it is, because that helps Xbox stay on track with whatever the roadmap is.
That's what we
But
need. It's just for them to
yeah,
start hitting, and then we can
to
say,
start hitting,
okay, here we go.
yeah, yeah. So I
To
mean,
be fair, it may
there's
not be
hoping.
something that might interest you. Maybe not even me. Even being a Bethesda guy might not interest me as much as some of their other games or whatever. But what they want it to be, and what it could be
Hmm.
for a lot of people, if it
It looks
hits,
great. It
it's a
looks
big.
great.
It's a big deal. If it hits, it's gonna be a big deal for sure.
Yeah,
And everything,
yeah,
like in that Starfield Direct, which is another thing that again, I gotta give shout out to the PR team and the marketing team and Microsoft, right? Because they've known how to deal with all this stuff, how to promote
no,
this, because
they bounce
the
back.
the saying oh, we're not gonna have all CGI trailers anymore in this one. It's all gonna be in game. How everybody understood that, which is false, but everybody
Hmm.
interprets that as, oh, they're gonna show gameplay for all these games, and that worked in their favor because everybody
Yeah,
was hyped for it. And then there's the Starfield thing, right? The one more thing is Starfield. So in the minds of everybody, is Starfield is part of the showcase, and therefore the showcase is incredible. But in
hmm,
actuality, it's a
Separate
Starfield
thing.
Direct. Like it's a
yeah,
separate thing. So if we take
separate
Starfield
thing.
out of it, it wasn't that great. The showcase wasn't that great. But having said that, the showcase for the Direct, the Starfield Direct, it looks incredible. Like it does look incredible. The detail that they put into it, it's just so much to do. Like it looks like it's gonna hit. This looks like it's gonna be a
And
hit,
this
a
is their
10 out of 10
passion
game.
project amongst
It is.
everything else that
Hmm.
they do. So that they gotta come out swinging with it.
Yeah. The only
Yeah,
thing that it just looks is far too overwhelming for someone like
it's
me.
really
Like I
big.
don't. It's such an incredibly looking game that I don't even want to touch it. To be honest, it just looks like it's gonna be too much.
Yeah.
And here we are with the thing that I was saying about that. I was telling Luis before you joined us in the call is that obviously it's gonna come out on Game Pass, right? And I don't play my Xbox, right, like at all. I've told you guys this before. I have this here, and I've had this for a while because I'm just waiting on that, right? But so they have that now. They have the early release or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
You'd have
5 days
to pay
release.
for the game, and then extra for that,
No,
and I'm out here like, should
that's
I
bait.
do it? But it's hooked. It's not just the bait. Like it's over with.
Yeah.
Like I'm here. Like should I do it? I can get it for
Yeah.
free 5 days later. What? Like why would I do that? But should I though? Like, it's just
Yeah.
That's how they're gonna
And I
get a
mean-
lot of people. That's how they do it.
And I mean, to your defense, I feel that this game is worth it. You know, from what they've shown us here, I feel
It's
It
free,
does
though.
look like yeah, I mean, technically it's free, yeah, but it does look like
Yeah.
it's worth
it's worth
investing the
yeah.
money. Like it does,
investing the money.
but
yeah.
it's not
Even with
worth
30
investing
frames.
5 days before you get it free.
Yeah.
5 days, yeah.
but you know, it looks good. You know, it's interesting to see because we were talking before, and I still believe that Tears of the Kingdom is a game of our generation, right? But it seems that we've gotten those games like closer to each other in a way that we haven't seen before, right? Like Elden Ring, even though I had my fair share of critiques for it, um, it is a game of this generation. Right? That game defined the way that From Software will end up being forward, and other games want to be there, right? To be close to it. Breath of the Wild was that. So we got Elden Ring because we got that. We had Tears of the Kingdom like do that this year. If Starfield ends up being that, it like that's cool, you know, because yeah, we've got a lot of flops in the in between, like a lot of them. But those big hitters are the ones that matter. Are the ones that goes. This is why I'm a gamer, man. These are the type of projects I want to be there. You know, I might not play 300, 400 hours of Starfield, but if Starfield drops and it does everything that it set out to do, I'm gonna be really, really happy. Just because we got that high quality product in our hands, finally fleshed out. You know, yeah, it was pushed a whole year, but it ended up being good. You know,
I mean, we'd rather, and that's the thing. I don't think, obviously, because they want to do the marketing and whatnot, but we would rather these games to be cooked to perfection before they're released.
Definitely.
But they're obviously there's a lot of internal going ons that they need to release them within a certain time frame and stuff like that, and the merchandise and whatnot. But I have no problems with it being. I mean, look at Cyberpunk. It got how many times we got pushed back and people were mad, and then they're like, "Oh, they should have fixed this thing." They're like, "Well, you shouldn't have been sending death threats to them about releasing them." Like, it's just dumb. But you know, speaking of Cyberpunk, though, they got this
DLC.
Phantom Phantom something. I
Keanu's
forgot
back.
what it's called.
Keanu is
Phantom
back.
Liberty.
Phantom Liberty. Yeah.
Yeah, Keanu is back. And they're saying that this is, you know, a spy thriller. Like they're talking about Metal Gear and stuff like that. And I was like, oh well, Manuel is surely gonna jump in Cyberpunk now because they said that.
No, I'm not
That's
touching
weird.
this. But it does get me angry. I want to know. I want. There's one question that I have that I think is the most important question that any of us should have about this game, and it's not being answered or asked anywhere. And it's the way they're talking about this. It's not even DLC. It's called an expansion to the world, to the game or whatever.
Why isn't it
They
free
base-
for after they've done what they've done? Is that the question?
No, that's not the
But
question.
that is a
They-
valid
they-
question also.
That is definitely a valid question, especially for people that pay for PS4. They're not even gonna get it for PS4 or whatever.
Yeah.
But whatever. The way they're talking about it, the way everybody's playing it, and all that stuff, they're saying basically this, the Phantom Liberty, fulfills their original vision for Cyberpunk 2077. So what it was supposed to be originally is this game here, this expansion, which you can play on its own. You don't have to have play or anything Cyberpunk to play this or whatever. And they revamped the AI, they revamped the world, they revamped everything, the upgrade system, the fighting, they've added combat for cars. They've done all this stuff to make it the best experience possible. My question is that experience limited to Phantom Liberty? Or if I buy this or whatever, is that an update for Cyberpunk? Because if it's not an update for Cyberpunk, you're telling me the game that I bought doesn't fulfill the original vision that you promised, but this other game that you want me to buy that is an expansion of that first game does. So I have to pay what $40 more to finally fulfill your vision, and that really does get me angry. It really does piss me off. I don't like that
Yeah.
at all.
I believe this is tied only to the DLC though, because it seems. I mean, I did not finish Cyberpunk, but I believe this looks way more linear.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
It looks like better visually. Um, I don't know if it's in the same engine. Probably yes, probably not. We don't know. Um, but make it by they rephrasing it as this its own thing. I believe this has a beginning, has an end. This like a I don't know, like a sequel to a Telltale story. Like this is its own thing. Um, if it ends up being good, would it spark the interest for a sequel? I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know if we're there
that's
They
yet.
already
already
confirmed.
they already have like
Yeah,
3
that's
sequels
confirmed.
They
going
want that.
and spin
Yeah,
off
they
and
want that.
whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
said they
want that.
confirmed it.
Which
The
I thought
creator
was
said
like,
that, go ahead, go ahead.
oh, it's just like how the audacity of them just coming. You remember, I think
Mhm.
spoken of the podcast, the audacity of
Yeah.
them just coming out and be like, "Oh, we got all these projects." I'm like, "What? Like, fix the
Mhm.
one that you lied to
Yeah.
people about first." Nah, but I
Yeah,
mean, it was just as easy as putting an anime, I guess. Then everybody's good with it again. But
Mhm.
yeah, and the creator said that he pretty much confirmed. He said that he's already sent off part of the team to some other state or whatever to start working on Cyberpunk,
Sequel.
the sequel, and that his goal for this DLC or whatever, he says when he leaves, which means he's leaving after this, he wants to leave Cyberpunk in the best state possible. It's like how much time later is like I don't know. It's
3 years.
really annoying. It's
Yeah.
frustrating to me.
And it's been selling on these tales, right? All that. It's
It
been,
it
it's been
always
getting.
sold. It was always on the top in sales, even when
Especially when
all
they
that
put it for
fiasco was
$10
going.
because it was trash.
Yeah, yeah.
And even then, I thought it was too much.
Yeah.
I wish I
You
would
know
have
the
bought it
drill.
for
It's been
$10.
2 years that anniversary. You know the drill. We have to give it to Cyberpunk for what they done. They know what they
Yeah.
did.
The thing is, there's less and
We
less
know- we know
people,
what
less
they
and less people talking about that now. Like everybody's forgotten.
You
of
can
that.
always count on that on the No Name podcast.
And even Keanu. I mean, Keanu's a great fellow. You know, not to
I'm
bang
sure
on
he
his
doesn't.
drum.
He has no idea what went
But
on
yeah,
with
he
that.
has no idea. But the way he was like doing PR for them, he was saying that no, I believe that the CD Project Red team like truly realized their vision here and all that. And that looks like that, that's a PR stunt. You know, like having them there.
That's what they
So
paid him for, though.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
true,
Yep.
true.
He signed the contract.
Yeah.
And even then, like
And I
even
mean,
this one,
he
the
did
thing
good
about this,
voiceover.
what they
He did
showed
good.
here is again more of the same problem that I have with the game. Is it looks good,
Yeah.
but is it gonna hit those notes that it? Because obviously that's the job of the trailers is make you this is, and then they drop the ball. So
Yeah,
I mean I don't trust
think
them.
this suspense is going to be good. I think according for people that like the original game or whatever, I think they're really going to love this game because if it's true
Yeah.
that they pretty much just made that game but
Realize their
better,
vision. Yeah.
then it's going to be good. And then it's kind of frustrating to me because it does, just brushes under the rug everything that came before. So
No.
and
They
PC
should.
players, man, too. Like that bothers me as well. Like everybody's like, "Oh, this game was made for PC or whatever." Like, is it?
And it
Well,
ran
maybe it
perfectly
should have been
there.
a PC. Maybe it should have been a PC game,
Yeah.
right? Don't give me that nonsense. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Also, Starfield at 30 FPS, locked at 30 FPS on consoles.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it, to be honest. The only issue is what I said in the chat. Like, it is a AAA first party next gen exclusive.
It's
And
On the
you
also
world's
can't,
most
expired.
you
powerful
can't
console.
the world's most powerful console. That's the only thing that's like, okay, then that's a little off. But 30
Yeah.
frames is not that big. It's not going to affect
It
anything.
looked good. It looked really good on the showcase.
Yeah,
So,
No.
I ain't mad at it.
your eyes get used to it like after 5 minutes. Like it's only when you're playing a 60 or 120 frame per second
That you
and
go
you
back.
go to 30. That's where it's jarring.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
after first few minutes, it's fine. Fine.
No.
So from here, I guess like the things that were interesting to me is Fable because I really enjoyed the Fable series.
The tone
Uh,
was really good
it
for
went off
Fable.
the rails a little bit too much, but hopefully this is gonna be returned to form. What they showed was it looks like Fable, which is all I really want from it. So we will see. It's gonna because it's gonna be on Game Pass. I'm not too concerned with it because
Yeah.
we'll get to play it day one, and Starfield. And I guess Manuel told me that I should buy it then, so I'm gonna do that.
I didn't
I
say
should
that.
buy it and
Run
get
it
it five
back.
days early.
Do you guys think we get Fable next year? I don't think so.
I,
I don't have any
we didn't
idea, to
see
be
enough
honest.
for it to be. I don't think
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
far enough along, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I
yeah.
heard the other day that the development cycle for these people are like 5 years. So it's been what, 4 years, 3 years since they
But
announced it?
I don't think that they've been
They
working on
announced
the
it in
current
Working on it.
iteration
Yeah,
That's
of
true.
yeah,
it the
yeah.
whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they've been working on it like 2 or 3 years at this point. Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
maybe. Yeah.
I mean, here's hoping. I really like that. So.
I
But
mean, they
again,
didn't
this is
even
gonna be
announce a
busy
window
time.
though.
What is it?
They
They didn't
didn't
have
even
to.
announce a window.
Yeah.
So they didn't even
No, it
say
doesn't
like
have any.
2024, 2025, nothing like that.
No.
Here's the thing with those, and I don't know that we talk that or a lot of people talk about it enough is sometimes stuff like this might hurt the product. Because, for
Hmm.
example, you give me the teaser before, we're talking about it now, I'm like excited about it. Then we got the slate of games, and maybe by the time that it releases, I no longer have interest on it.
Yeah. There are a few games that use this approach and end up being better. Like Tears of the Kingdom comes into mind, right? We got a teaser of that. They kept it really close to the chest, and by the time they dropped the final product, we were there. We were on board. But I'm 100% with you, guys. It's more times than not, we get teasers, we get trailers, we got all that, and at the end of the time, it's like I don't care as much for this.
There are some games
Why?
that are like on name alone, you're like, yes, immediately drawn to it, and you're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna stop because of time. You're gonna just patiently wait for when it releases and get it regardless. I don't know that
No,
at this point in time, Fable is that.
I do.
no.
I do think so. I think those that are gonna play it whenever it comes out. Like realistically, you're thinking that unless you see another trailer and it looks terrible, you're telling me you're never gonna play this game whenever it comes out? Like you're
It's
going to
the
play it,
but
especially
the
if it's
thing
in
about
Game
it's the
Pass.
time though.
Mm-hmm.
Like
What do
it
you
might
mean?
get
Like
lost in the shuffle with the slate of stuff that's coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I
that's
might
true for
have other
that's
yeah,
true
but
for any
like
game though.
but not necessarily like if it's like for example, say Spider-Man or even Starfield or something like that. I will stop playing something else to play that. I don't know that I stopped playing one of these games for that.
I think if
Yeah,
Starfield
yeah,
comes out now if Starfield comes out now and you're still playing Tears of the Kingdom, and in December Fable comes out, you're gonna play Fable. I bet you anything you're gonna at least test Fable out.
I have to yeah, I have to take a
I'm
peek.
willing to bet anything.
yeah, yeah.
So
I
yeah,
mean, it's
so
Fable, man. It's Fable.
All right.
I
Uh,
think it is a game like that.
Manuel just took me down in front of everybody.
I would love to have the morality system back. That's what
I mean,
special
that's what
about
makes
That's
Fable. I mean,
Fable,
Fable,
right?
yeah.
yeah,
That is Fable.
yeah,
I would like
and
to have
Fable is
stealth in Metal Gear.
That was
and
actually
it's
my
so
first experience
personal.
with that type of system too. Fable was actually my
It's
first
so
experience with
personal.
it.
You feel that your character is you. And that it's really weird. In modern RPG like that. To feel so connected to the character.
Now, the
I
one that I
remember.
think it is kind of hurting my hype for it. Go to your point about showing it and not having dates. Is the Hellblade game? Like Hellblade was the
Yeah.
first game that they showed off when
Mm-hmm.
when the Xbox was announced originally,
Yeah, you're right.
and we've like
Before Series X.
they
Yeah.
keep yeah they keep showing this stuff and it looks CG. They say it's gameplay. They refuse to put out a date. Now it's 2024 with no
Mm-hmm.
date or whatever. It's like I'm tired of seeing trailers for this. I was already skeptical initially because the way the first one ends is like there's no reason for a sequel at all. And for them to make a sequel already, I was already skeptical. And so this is one of those games where they're gonna have to sell me on it when it comes out. Good thing is
Mm-hmm.
again, Game Pass.
Game Pass. Mm-hmm.
See, that is just a blessing. Because even like for example, a game like Starfield, and like I said, Manuel made me purchase it, so now I have no choice but to do it. But a game like that, just being able to play it, no strings attached, just having that,
Hmm.
it's pretty wild. PlayStation would never, and we love PlayStation here. PlayStation would never,
No, they
Yeah.
can't compete on that. No, they can't compete on
I
that.
mean, they
And
could if they wanted to, right?
but
But
they
yeah,
don't
true,
want to.
true,
yeah.
true. They don't want. And I mean, I have not followed the PS Plus Extra in all those tiers, but it seems like they started off really strong, and they have not been as strong like
No,
lately. Right?
they have a lot of great games. It's just not it's not this level. It's not Starfield
Yeah,
level.
Mhm.
Like it's
no.
not that.
Starfield is it looks to define, and be the name for Xbox moving forward. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, if you like, just think about it. Like,
what game would
regardless
be
of
that
when,
to PlayStation? Like maybe
God of
what
War,
game would be the God? I thought God of War also, but I don't even think that
Ragnarok.
would be.
I
Yeah,
don't think there is one PlayStation game where you're like, this is
the
I don't know
definitive thing.
the
Yeah,
definitive PlayStation game, and I think Starfield is that for Xbox right now.
Hmm.
no, no, you're right. That's
But again,
crazy.
like
Yeah,
I was gonna say, Ruka, like when you think about the future, like whenever these games come out, and not taking into account the fiasco that was Halo Infinite, but
mm-hmm.
still, your Halo,
Or Redfall.
Gears, Forza,
Forza.
Starfield, like these are huge AAA games, and they're all on Game Pass. Like that alone
Mm-hmm.
is incredible. It's a shame that they haven't been able to deliver the way they sold it to us.
Would we be
Yeah.
having a whole like we would might be having a completely different conversation when it comes to us putting PlayStation versus Xbox outright if they were able to bring those up at the time that they
Mm-hmm.
intended to, because we're like,
Yeah.
okay, PlayStation has all of these amazing games, right? Xbox has maybe less, but they're on Game Pass. Like you can just pay $50 a month and you can play whatever you
They're
want.
all there. Yeah, they're all
And right
there.
now, PS5, like if you think about it, PS5, I think maybe somebody could tell me another game that I'm forgetting, but I think the only game like that it has been God of War,
Mm-hmm.
Ragnarok. They haven't
Mm-hmm.
actually been putting out huge game after game after
No,
game so
no.
far on the PS5.
Yeah.
Xbox has, but they just haven't hit. Right? They haven't hit. They haven't been good or whatever. But they've been trying. But
Yeah.
PlayStation doesn't really have those games yet. So if Xbox had hit, this would be a different conversation.
Mhm. And then
Definitely.
we have
Definitely.
Turk here on the chat. He said that the PlayStation games are now on Steam. Do you really need a PS5?